You're stuck, not because of lack of potential, but because you're ignoring the power of starting small. Today we're going to talk about the momentum loop. What the f is the momentum loop? So you start with a small win. So momentum loops usually start small. So you have to start somewhere, and that's usually small. So you're going to start with small wins. Right, so that's where it begins. And let's talk about Coke for 2 seconds. So when I was at Coke, the way I got to from putting up Coke bottles on a shelf to then building the 7-figure business is by getting the small wins. And in the beginning, it doesn't look like you can do, right? Because you're gonna get no's, you're gonna get rejected, you're gonna get objections from people all the time. But the small wins are when you can get past those and do what you have to do. Right. So for me, it was going out door to door. And if you're in sales, you understand what going door to door is. You're going to get no's all the time. You're usually 100 no's away from one yes. Right. So the more no's you get, the more opportunities you are going to have to get yes. But your small wins start somewhere. So let's say you get rejected 101 times, but your 102nd time is a yes. That is then the deal that gives you momentum enough to say, okay, cool, I can continue doing this at a longer rate and not just thinking that I can't do shit at all, right? So just take your rejections and objections, no matter what they are, and figure out where you can find the small wins, right? Because the faster you find your small wins, the easier it is to build momentum. Because once your momentum loop is going, it doesn't really turn off unless you turn off. Your small wins will build momentum, right? So once you get those small wins, you're going to realize that, yes, what I'm looking for is achievable, which starts the momentum cycle or your momentum loop, right? So when I got that 101st rejection and I went out one more time, even though I was fucking scared and I got the yes, it started the momentum process. Right after I got that first yes, I think I got 2 more yeses within a couple days, right? So I went from 1 client to 3 clients in like 2-3 days, right? And then from 3 clients, you go to 6 clients because you don't stop. And that gets addicting. Building momentum gets addicting as because it feels good. Not only do you get the small wins, but the small wins then compound. And then that becomes a total different monster. After building momentum, what's going to happen is you're going to generate results, right? So you're going to generate results after you start to build momentum, because over time, what you're going to prove to yourself is that what I thought was only possible through watching people on videos or watching shit or reading books online or whatever is now possible in my reality. Because when I was putting up Coke on a shelf, I didn't believe that I could do it myself, right? And so you're watching a lot of these videos, you're watching podcasts, you might go on the internet and you're seeing all these people live this lavish life. Okay, great. But how the fuck did they generate the results to get where they are, right? They built the momentum. So you get three clients, right? Because I was in Coke. Once I got out of Coke, I had 3-4 clients, and then I added, 6 more? And then you add 6 more because momentum gets addicting. So you'll take the no's knowing that the objections are going to come. You get past the objections and then you start to sign people because the more no's you get, the quicker you will find the yeses for you. So it's like finding the diamond in the rough, right? Get past all the rough and find the diamond. Then you start to generate the results that you see in your brain, which is getting the clients and also giving them results that then they can speak about to you or for you. Right? But once you start to generate these results, what you do is reinforce belief, right? So generate, and this I think is one of the biggest things that pulls back into what we spoke about the other day, which was your mindset and your thoughts. So your quantum loop, and this momentum loop goes into your quantum loop, because the more you reinforce the belief that this is possible, the more of your reality will expand and giving you the abundances that you think of. So when you're at Coke, when I was at Coke, I didn't really think about these small wins, right? Because in the first half, it was kind of like I was losing. I'm losing because I'm putting fucking Coke on a shelf. I'm not getting anywhere, and I'm always getting depressed because I didn't want to fucking be there. And then when I met my mentor and got rid of the distractions, again, the ebook is inside of the description below. You start to get these or generate these small wins simply because of a mind shift, right? And I thought And then I thought about doing something or taking action in a positive way, because then I realized, okay, Coke is funding my life. Now you just need to figure out how to get a small win. So I went from a negative mindset, and this is going back to the quantum loop video, going from a negative mindset to a positive mindset, right? Then going to go look for this small win. Getting over the hurdles to get to one small win then allowed me to realize that building momentum is very real. So then I built the momentum once I got the few clients. Then that generated results for me, because in my brain I'm saying, okay, how am I going to get these clients? And I actually get them. Okay, cool. Then I generate the results that I thought in my brain, which then reinforce the belief that I have for myself. And then reinforcing these beliefs will then have me go out and go get more small wins. So it's very easy. You just got to figure out exactly how you want to do it, because doing it is the hardest part. Because think about it. When you're going to get a small win, you're going to get so many no's that you might think that shit's out of reach. Imagine you're going out and you have to get 100 no's before you get one yes. Think about that. Because out of 100 ideal clients or ideal customers, right, 10 will actually show interest, or 30 may show interest. 10 may then book a meeting. 1 will sign. Think about it that way. So when you're going out for these small wins, it can get really fucking dicey very quickly. And then you get to 80 no's and you're like, fuck this. I'm a loser. I suck. I'm putting up Coke on a shelf. I'm never going to get anywhere in life. It's a fucking lie that your brain's going to tell you. So you have to get over that fucking mental loop that you're in, or that quantum loop, because the quantum loop is what's fucking you realistically. You're thinking negative. The people around you are negative. There's no one talking about money, so you don't really understand how to make it. Then you're also not putting yourself in environments to go get small wins, so that when the hurdles come, then you're fucked and you don't know what to do with your life, right? So get out of your fucking comfort zone and go get the small wins, but realize there are going to be a fuck ton of no's. A fuck ton of no's. Like, this shit doesn't stop when you try to go get your goal. Just to get one yes. Just to get one yes. You're going to have to do a fuck ton of no's, right? When you start to build this momentum, I want you to understand, when you stop doing what the fuck you know works, like going through the process of getting all these no's just to get this yes, when you stop this entire process because of this, because of the no's that you get, that may be discouraging. You might have a bad day. You might have people that you really want as a client won't sign, whatever. Maybe the contract from the last yes that you got wasn't big enough or what you thought it could be. If you were to stop building this piece right here, this whole shit dies. Because when you start to stop building the momentum, your mindset will become negative. Oh, why will it become negative? The reason it becomes negative is because momentum is almost like a car, right? So if a car is going, let's use this. If there's let's say a hill, matter of fact, we'll just do this. We'll draw a straight line, right? So if you have a car, how the fuck do we draw? Just don't even fucking worry about my drawing skills. All right? So we're going to do this. A fucking car, right? So if the car is headed this way and there's force pushing it, right? So that could be all the actionable steps that you take to push this car forward. It's going to go forward. But as the second you stop this shit, this car is no longer going to go forward. It's going to stay right the fuck there, right? So your momentum is literally like this car, and your efforts that you do with your small wins is what the force is to push it, right? And then reinforcing the belief is only to believe that there's more road to drive on. But the second you stop fucking doing the small wins, bro, this momentum will stop, right? And when the momentum stops, the car is going to be that much harder to start to push again, right? Your beliefs start to go down. So you believe that this life doesn't exist. And then you stay what? Let's say you stay in, this is your hometown that you're living in, right? And this is where you want to go. So this is maybe whatever city you want to live in. City life, we'll call it. Right? And you have to get this vehicle that has you in it down the road to the city life that you're looking for, right? But the city life requires you to get there at a certain speed, because if you're staying here, you're stagnant. And while you sit here with no momentum because you got so many no's, you don't want to push anymore, right? And even there's going to be times where there's a fucking hill that you have to go up. So imagine the car has to now go up this hill, which requires 10 times more fucking effort to get up this blood clot, right? And then once you get up the hill, you see that it'll come down, and you can maybe ease off the brakes because maybe your business starts to run by itself. You get things automated, X, Y, Z. But the second you stop building momentum, you're fucked. This whole shit that you believe that your life will turn into is a dub. You're stagnated. You're going to stay where the fuck you are. Your limiting beliefs will kick in. You will have no more reinforcement, but your belief will be fucking negative about yourself. And that'll go into fucking confidence and building that we'll talk about soon. But always focus on the small wins, because your small wins are what will ultimately bring the building of momentum to fruition. And your momentum loop will then be successful as long as you do not give up when it comes to your small wins. You continue to fucking build momentum. You generate results of the things that you have in your brain, and you reinforce these beliefs by generating the results. And this shit will fucking work for you non-stop. Right? Momentum loop. Boy.